Robert Shed Log, Sunday the 3rd of May 2020. Hello, I'm Robert and welcome to my shed. So, in the past week, I've got this workbench top set onto the workbench. I had to enlarge the mortises a little bit. It went on reasonably okay. I think the vice is pulling things slightly out of alignment, but it's workable and I'm going to leave it like that. I've got bits to set up the tail vise with, but I need to cut some good quality dovetails to make that work, and I don't feel I'm up to that yet. So I'm going to leave that for a few weeks until I've got some more practice in with joinery. Because there will be half-blind dovetails, but they'll also be on show. So, because when you open the vise, you'll see them. So, I'd like to show you around my shed today instead of talking about the workbench. I rescued this from the old shed. It's a nice piece of wood with some holes in it. Might be usable. But I need a lot more than that in terms of tool storage. I set out all the tools I've used and they basically covered the old workmate and the workbench entirely. Not just the tools I've used, so I need a lot more storage. This wall behind me is going to become a below the window is going to become a tool rack. I'll fill that corner with tool racks as well. But yeah, let me show you around in detail. Maybe look at some of my plans for the future. Meet the Shed, Part 2. This is my desk area with my nice polystyrene desk. It's basically the monitor box packed up on some tables. It's not a good desk, but it's at the right height. And I will be replacing that with a proper desk, with a proper desktop, after sorting tool storage. That's the next big project on the list. After that, I've got this thing to worry about. This is the heater that the builders put in. It works okay, but it's noisy. So I'd like to have it on. I'd like to be able to turn it on in the house before I come out here, or have it on timer or something. That means electronic control. To do that, I need to replace this fuse outlet with an actual switch, which I believe I can do under the wiring regulations, but I'll check before I do it, don't worry. And with that switch, I can use a relay controlled from a networked device or somewhere. I don't have networking up there, I have networking down here. So I'm going to have to do some cabling running around. When I run that cabling around, I also want to put these surround sound speakers on the back wall somewhere. I don't know if I can bed them into the wall or put them on shelves or what, but I'll do something. I should have asked them to put their conduit under the floor, but I didn't think of it. Yeah, I need to think about how to do something with that. Yeah, once I get cables running around, it's going to be a lot easier. I want to keep it neat and tidy. Not a rush job. Time to think about that. This was all going to be shelves, but now I've got monitors in. I realise the monitor actually quite likes being here because that keeps it out of the window. So, I mean, it does move. I can move it way across. That's fine. I can turn it on its side or what have you, but I'd like to have some storage in this area for books and the like. Also, my printer should be up here. It's kind of on the floor. Various networking stuff has to go brought to the desk as well, so it's not just a simple let's build a couple of pedestals and shove a desktop on it. It's going to be a little bit more of a complicated design. That should be fun. Give me some use out of my tools for actual woodworking projects instead of just building a tool, which is workbench is a tool. That's what I've been doing for so long. So if I can just bring you down a little bit and turn you around this way, you should just be able to see this, which is the top of the old workmate. That's sitting in this corner. And the idea of this workmate was really just a temporary structure to build the workbench out of. I've done that now. I don't need this anymore. If anybody wants a workmate, it's not very good quality, not in very good condition. You need a hammer to adjusted. But it is a workmate. It will give you a temporary working surface that you can move around. That's what you're looking for, but no, I'll see what I can do. Yeah, so I'm thinking this area where I'm currently squatting in should be electronic storage. And this area over here, which you can get myself into. Sorry, it's a bit cramped, a bit close to the camera. This area here is going to be between the desk and the workbench. Is going to be designated for electronics somehow. Probably going to have the end of the workbench as an electronics station. Maybe have an upright storage unit with bench tools in it. Right here. So tools here and equipment, materials like for electronics on the other side. That means I can do electronic projects like the heater control and whatever else I feel up to doing at the time. Coming further around, we have the workbench. If you've been following Shadlog at all, you'll know a lot about this workbench. This area under the window is going to be pegboard for tool storage, and this area is going to be also designated for tool storage. And I've ordered the materials for that. I'm very excited. They're arriving in the next fortnight. I might get started on that next week, or I might do something else, depending on what turns up when. I'm definitely not going to be getting, I'll probably eat my words later, but I'm not planning on getting any more power tools, except possibly a drill, maybe an impact driver, but nothing big, no bench tools. So no bandsaw, no table saw. The reason for that is I just have space for it. And I've also discovered a wonderful thing called a router plane, which I've ordered, which does many of the jobs you can do with router planes and so on. It's much, much smaller. Maybe I'll discuss that next week, or the week after, depending on what happens first. So yeah, teasers. Yes, give people teasers and they might turn in again. You never know. This camera is basically just a webcam that I can use to log in. I've got a spare power socket and a spare network point there. I'd be used for them, but I've got them. So I'm going to box the whole thing in up to about 100mm, 2-3 inches, probably with a bevel on it so I don't bang my head. That means I can stand here and do work. Tool storage is going to come out 300 as a foot. So I can still do anything awkward around the base of the device. If I have to plane from this angle, for example, I don't know. The important thing is to keep everything accessible without making bad use of space. Because you can pack everything in so tightly, you can't get to anything. Not a great use of space, but you can keep everything really accessible, but you fill the entire shed with tools. I want to get a bit more use out of it than that. I've also got these top corners that I can use to put cupboards in. That'll help a lot. Those cupboards would let me store things like paint and pickaxes and things I don't use very often. I'm currently just cluttering up my house. That's the point. I've got a lot of stuff in my house that came from the old shed. Stuff like this might be useful, might not be. So I'm going to have a good clear out. And anything useful is going to be in here. Anything not, I'm going to have to get rid of. It's a problem because at the moment the recycling centre is closed. I can't even take things to the tip. I also have a car. Anyway. So that's where I am. And yeah. I'm sure I'll think of something else to talk about, but enough chance I don't. And that's all for Shadlog this week. Ta! tried as best as I can to keep this video log as positive as possible, so that I'm not jumping on toes, but I know I just want to acknowledge that things are really tough right now. I'm on furlough, I'm having to stay inside as much as possible, and that's okay for my projects because that means I get to spend more time on them, but there are a lot of other things I'm missing out on, and I'm struggling. I'm sure other people are too. So all I wanted to say is take it one day at a time, look after yourself, and if you can, look after other people without being too preachy about it, and take care. Really take care.